garden update, weed patrol. So this is the garden right here. And I'm not able to bend down like I used to. Welcome to getting older, right? But so I'm trying to block the weeds from coming up this year. I've got this brown paper. I used cardboard last year, but I could never find enough cardboard. So this year I got some rolls of this brown paper and I've laid it down, and my neighbor ended up, she has a tree business with her husband, and they brought me some beautiful mulch, and they make sure that there's no bugs on the trees and all like that before they bring the mulch. So I put that mulch over there, and then I've got this weeded, and next step is putting the brown paper here. And then there's my tomato plants and my squash plants back there, and the weeds have already taken over, and I just planted them. Come on now. I hate weeds, y'all. I do. But my tomatoes are doing quite well. I mean, so are the weeds. The weeds are doing very well too. Y'all like my shade set up right there? It gets hot out here, y'all. You gotta have something to keep the shade on you. So right here are my tomato plants, and right here is my weed garden. I'm growing lots of weeds here. Nothing else planted other than weeds. And excuse my finger and my band-aid, y'all. And then here is my squash. Now this, after I weed this is going to be beans and peas. This section right here. But right now it's currently weeds. Nothing but weeds. Let's go over here. And here's my cucumbers on the trellis. You like my little setup here? Got it rigged to the tree to hold it up. Hey, it works. And there's my cucumbers. They're looking pretty good. Already starting to grip on to the trellis and climb up. And then this is how we got it on the front to hold the trellis up. Peppers are doing good. Already ready to pick some of these, it looks like. Now over here is my apple tree and my plum tree and another apple tree. And then I had a tree that I took down a couple years ago. And yes, I like funky folk art, y'all. So just, I got my gold heart and my pink hearts, my polka dots. But I've got an old sink here that I've got some flowers planted in. I actually just bought some more flowers to put in these empty spaces. Then we'll go over here. There's where I keep my grill at, my griddle. And here is Mike's tree, my late husband's Japanese maple, which if you've been with me for a while, then you probably know the story of my Japanese maple. If you don't, then you can look through the videos and find it. I'll see if I can post a link for it if y'all can't find it. And there's my little memorial stone for my husband and an empty chair. Right here is where my cast iron stove is at and my fire pit. But it's covered up right now. I'll uncover it when I use it. Herb garden next to this ugly propane tank. Oh, I hate that thing. I want to paint it, like have an artist come out and paint it all folk arty and cool, but my dad says that if I paint it, that it's silver for a reason. So I don't know. I thought it'd be cool to paint it with cool art and whatnot. But my herb gardens and old swimming pools. And then over there's my kids play area, and then there's the rosemary, the one plant that I can't kill, which I'm glad. Love my rosemary. Need a weed eat bad over here. I'm starting this over here. Got another swimming pool that's falling apart, and I hate throwing things away, you guys, when I can try to recycle it. And so it's busted, but that makes great drainage. So I took some mulch and put it at the bottom there, and and then got it filled with some dirt, and I got my asparagus in there. My asparagus wasn't doing so good when I got it, so I'm hoping it comes back. It's kind of brown, but I mean, there's a lot more green on there, so I think it's going to make it just fine. That one I don't know about. That one's not doing so good. And then a little outdoor area. So this came off this is a piece of cast iron. It's so heavy, but it came out of a mansion off of Jekyll Island. I bought it in a estate sale. It came from, it was part of a table, and at the tabletop it had broken off. And I put it on this little wire thing. It's sturdy enough to hold it. It makes a great little breakfast nook. So here is my little yoga area. I don't leave this outside all the time. I usually roll it up and bring it in and out, but I'm going to use it here a little while. My bird bath used to have water in it, but the mosquitoes about killed me here on my yoga mat having the water there, so that's just for looks at this point. The birds are going to have to bathe with not that water. So I got some flowers. Hopefully they'll bloom up soon. Isn't that neat? So this artist over at in Georgia, I can't remember their names. I wish I did, but they're out of Temple, Georgia, and they are a little cute couple in their 70s or 80s, and the wife paints the pieces, and the husband, he casts them. And I just love their piece. I'm about to show you another piece. Hold on. So I'm going to go over here to my stone, my little stone man thing that they made too, next to my, I tell you, I like funky folk art, funky art, period. And he's the cutest thing, so they made that too. And I had a tree here that I recently took down, and in the meantime, while I killed the stump, I made it to a cute little fairy house. And then we got the flowers in the old barrels that I use to try to hide the side of my carport to decorate it, make it prettier. Roses and more roses, and my favorite rose bush. And that's so pretty. And then some random junk that I pulled out of a friend's backyard. A tractor that had kind of rotted and gotten buried, and I pulled out random pieces and I stacked it together and made whatever that is and put a rose bush inside of it. And that needs to be weeded, something terrible. I just went back to the plant store this morning. I'm terrible with flowers, you guys. And I got all this different stuff. Now I just got to figure out where I'm going to put it. And now here's some of my front yard. I got my blueberry bushes here. This one wasn't doing so good, but I cut them back some, and it's starting to get green on it again, so I think it's going to make it. This one's my best blueberry bush out of all of them. It's also my oldest. Lots of berries on there this year. One of my kids' toys. Chairs. My pinwheel that must have pinwheeled up out of the ground and lost a spinny thing. And I really need to get the weed eater out here, but here's some more random pieces of that tractor that I pulled out of my friend's backyard. Her house was actually sold and bulldozed to put a subdivision there, and she let me come and pick everything that was left.